What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Creativ Rise Podcast. We are so excited for today's episode. I'm so excited I almost barely don't have a voice.
He's so excited.
My voice probably doesn't sound normal. I've lost my voice a little bit. But on this week's episode of the Creativ Rise Podcast, we have Jordan Kummer, who is a full-time social media manager who went through our Creativ Rise Mastermind, actually came into the Creativ Rise Mastermind in February without a business, and she's now doing a full-time income, traveling the world as a social media manager, getting to live her best life. You'll hear all about that in the podcast. Her day in the life, we asked her about what a day in the life looks like for her with work and fun, and it sounds pretty epic. So
it made us a little bit envious.
Yeah, she is rocking it. And so this episode is all about like what it looks like to build a social media business from scratch, like literally scratch, what it looks like to grow it, how to get some clients, what she focuses on, some of the industries she focuses on, and yeah, what it looks like to do that while having the ambition to travel the world, which is why she, in the first place, wanted to not go to university for a second time and start a business that was going to allow her to do what she loved to do, which is travel instead of getting like a 9-to-5. So this episode's awesome.
Yeah, you guys are going to be so excited to hear from her. You're just going to be pumped and so inspired to go out. And honestly, it sounds cheesy and cliche, but chase your dreams after you listen to what she has to say. So here's Jordan. Hello, Jordan. How's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Hanging
We are doing
out.
great.
We are in a new space that is not really, actually it's a new home. You are in a newer home as well. You are current. Why don't you describe for everyone who's watching on audio or on video, and then for the people who are not, describe where you are right now.
Well, I'm in the beautiful town of Byron Bay, but physically I am in my home/car that has been 3 months now, but we're looking, we got 9 more at least. Might be longer, who knows, but yeah, new home for you guys. This is awesome.
This is awesome. So
all our new spaces.
You're currently in Byron Bay, Australia, which is an awesome little town.
Oh, I want to go there so bad.
Jordan, what are you doing in Byron Bay?
We are catching waves. We are learning
Catching
surf.
waves.
Gosh.
Yeah. Checking out the town. It's beautiful. I've only been here now. This is only my second day here, so we're going to be checking out a lot more of it. I was just this morning surfing at the Pass, which is like this well-known beach here in Byron. So that was pretty awesome. But just traveling around and, living the best life.
Living the dream. Okay, Jordan, we're going to hop into a bunch of stuff about your business. Everyone wants to know, how is this girl just solo traveling Australia, owning a creative business, living her best life? We're going to get into all those details where you can spill all of your secrets. But let's start off with our classic rapid fire questions that we ask every single one of our guests. So first rapid fire question is, where are you from? We know you're in Australia right now, although we can't hear an Australian accent. So where are you actually originally from?
Don't ask me to try because it's terrible. I'm originally from a small town called Ormadonte. It's in Ontario, to kind of broaden it out. But yeah, Canada.
The best donuts are in Oro.
They are.
The best donuts. Mariposa Market. Actually, you know what was so funny is she said she was from Oro, and I was like, there's the best baker. This is when we were in the mastermind together. We're on a call. And I was like, the best baker, the best donuts is Mariposa Market. She turns her laptop. She's in Mariposa.
That was awesome.
It was
amazing.
amazing.
Love that. That was so good.
And also, Jordan, I'm going to add a rapid fire question. How old are you?
I am 23. Had to think about that for a second.
I love it. So she's young, fresh, in business, having a blast.
And Jordan, what's your creative business? What do you do?
I am a social media manager for other businesses. So anything that they need marketing on any platform they need, mainly it's kind of sticking to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter I just got into, but just managing their socials and keeping them consistent and all that. Yeah.
I love it. So she owns her own agency. I love it.
Social media agency. And how long have you been doing that for?
I have been doing it since February of this year. So it's only been a couple months.
That's like 4 months.
Yeah. I think about that.
February, March, April, May, June.
Yeah, that's like
5 months.
4 and a bit months. Yeah.
That
is so cool. So I'm going to break up rapid fire for a second. We first met you.
Rapid fire's never rapid.
We first met you because you joined before that, you actually sent in an application to join the Creativ Rise Mastermind. And inside of your application, you're like, I really want to do this, but I'm not sure if I can because I don't really have a business yet. But you were like, but I really want to be doing this thing. I have a goal of traveling, and I really want to find business that I can do in order to actually fulfill my dream of traveling around the world, which you are now doing, which is so epic.
Yes.
Shout out to you hanging out in Byron all the way down in Australia as you run a business from across the world.
Full-time.
So,
Full-time.
it's been a crazy 4 months for you. Not have you only moved across the world, but you've also built a business in 4 months, which is awesome.
Yeah, it has definitely been a very busy, chaotic, ups and downs 4 months, but it has been the best 4 months. Like, literally life changing. Like, before I started the Creativ Rise, I was on track to go to a second university program, and literally one day after a mastermind alum, Haley Learmoth, she was the one who told me about you guys, and I fell in love. I started researching. I was like, hey, nope, I'm done. I'm canceling that acceptance to the university program, and
yes,
I can start my own business. Don't know what it is yet, but
I love it. Because after we got your application, we were like looking at your stuff. We talked to you, and I was like, this girl is on it, and she's going places, so we have to grab her because she's just gonna crush it. And
I know, she got to jump in. It's so cool. Okay, so the last rapid fire question before we get into all that business stuff, because I really want to talk about what you've built, how you've built it, some of the stuff that's allowed you to do, but what's a little bit of let's humanize you for a second. What's a little bit of a flop you've had in your business? Is there anything you've done
4 months?
In the last 4 months, you're like, that just was not very good. Just to humanize you on the podcast here.
Well, there's been quite a few, but the two that really come to my head, for one, my website has been a complete flop. I thought I needed a website to become a business, and I had nothing really to put up there, and it was so I have a website, but it needs reconstruction.
Yes.
But the more bigger business kind of flop was actually my first pitch, face-to-face pitch for a potential client, and I go in there and I was very not confident. That was my biggest thing, and I remember talking to you guys at the beginning of the mastermind, I was like, I feel like a fraud almost. So then I go into this pitch and I'm like, so I don't know if this is what you're thinking or if that's what you need, and they even said, they were like, and I kind of knew them, so it was kind of like a teaching for both, which was awesome, and I really, really appreciate it. But it opened my eyes, and now it's completely changed how I go into any sort of business interaction, whether it's pitching, whether it's talking to a current client about changing something or adding something. So it was a very eye-opening experience, which I'm very appreciative for. But
yes. Oh, so, we have all been there.
Yeah, so was it just like you went into the conversation? I can't remember. You'll have to refresh my brain. Was it just like you went in really non-confident, and then they kind of weren't confident because you weren't confident, and that kind of taught you a lesson?
Yeah. So I didn't have an exact plan for them, which made me less confident. And so then they were kind of like, I don't know. Well, we might need this, we might need that. And it just there was no structure to how I was going about it. And that just kind of made the deal fall apart.
Okay, why don't we start there? Because that's really interesting, and I love that. We talk about that in the Creativ Rise Mastermind all the time, that if I don't have a plan going into a pitch, they're not going to trust me at all, and I probably am not going to trust myself because I don't know how I'm going to execute the outcome they want. So, Jordan, what have you learned about having a plan that you can actually execute to get a client a certain outcome that you can then take into a pitch, or even just simply once you get the client, you get them results? Talk to us about how important having a plan is, and what are some ways that you now try and structure your plans for clients as a social media manager?
I would say having a plan is probably you don't want to start without, you can't start anywhere without one. So I have now, when I went into that pitch, I didn't give them anything. I didn't have anything even for myself to kind of look off of. So I have now created a template where I can put in the client that I'm pitching or what's going on in that business and tailor it to what I'm wanting to talk to them about. So say if it is a pitch, I'm going to look through their accounts beforehand and see maybe where they have, like you talked about in Creativ Rise, where there's gaps that they could definitely be solved. And I try to target those points with solutions that I can come up with in my pitch, and I can kind of give them an insight to what I can provide for them. And having that listed out, going through their competitors, whether it's their even just the appearance of things, and just kind of showing them an eye-opening to everything that's out there that could be better, and having point to those, it just clears it up for them. Because you guys always say that confusion is you guys worded
confusion kills.
If you confuse,
Confusion kills.
you lose.
We got a few phrases
Exactly.
about confusion. Apparently, we really don't like it.
Yeah, so exactly. Like having a plan also takes away any of that confusion, and it lays it out better for you as well as your client that you're trying to pitch.
That's so good. I love that you like audit what they're doing, but then you audit what everyone else in their industry is doing, which one creates like envy and FOMO over their competition and what they could be doing. It also inspires people to do more things, which usually means more money in your deal, which is awesome.
It's two-dimensional problem solving, which is phenomenal. And that's a great skill, Jordan, that you've picked up and you're excelling at super well. So why don't you talk to me about that? Why don't we just go all the way back to the beginning? So before we get into like all the travel stuff, like I want to get more into the nitty gritty of like, you literally had no business basically 4.5, 5 months ago. And now you do. Now let's just put this on the record. What are you projecting to be making ish per month right now? And how many clients are you working with? Because you're living as a full-time traveler down in a different country, surfing in the morning, hanging out, and working as a virtual social media manager running a company. So what are you projected to make every single month right now? And how many clients is that made up of?
So right now, I'm kind of in a little gray area. I'm just going to be starting with your guys' very good friend, Peter Vanderwall at...
Shout out.
Shout out, Peter.
Social Club Studios. So that's going to be projecting my monthly a little bit more. But right now, we're around like 4,000 to 4,500 per month. And
epic.
I have personally I have 4 clients with that. But that projection's kind of including with what I'm going to be getting going with Peter. But it started out with back in February. It was literally $300 a month, one client. And we have grown it just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. You've grown it over 10 times. You're now doing $4,500 a month. That's literally I don't even know how much that is, but it's way over a 10x growth. So in 4 months, you've 10x your growth, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. What have you learned?
Yeah.
That has really helped you get this business off the ground? Because I'm sure, Jordan, I mean, I remember this, and this was us when we first started a business, but this was you, this is everybody when we first start businesses, right? We go, okay, I don't really know what I don't know. And because I don't know what I don't know necessarily what to do. And because I don't know what to do, I'm not growing this business and I get stuck. And so I know that's somewhat of the situation you were in when we first met you. You were really ambitious. You're like, I want to do this, but I'm not really sure where to start. What has been maybe 1 or 2 things that's like, ooh, I learned this and this really helped me start this business, get it off the ground, get some clients, start making up to $4,500 a month, which funds you to travel the world, live in your car, surf every morning, hang out. Like, talk to me. What are some of the things you learned that have really helped you in the last 4 months build this awesome business?
Yeah. Well, 3 things come to my mind. For the one, I am a firm believer that I want to enjoy what I do. Like, I don't want to work for the weekend or work for nighttime. Like, I really want to enjoy what I'm doing. So I really want to have fun basically while I'm doing this. Like, I love creating stuff. I love having fun with it and the music and the video and coming up with these different ideas that other businesses can implement into themselves. So I really wanted to take, like, it's stressful, obviously, starting your own business and everything, but I really wanted to like narrow down onto just like, it's fun. Like, this is what I want to do. I quit everything to do this. So like, I want to keep it having that enjoyment out of it. Another one is that I really enjoy helping people. So I didn't really realize how much, especially a lot of the clients, they might be older and they're not in the know with all the social media stuff. So even just a little bit of insight, it's like mind blowing for them. And that's the value.
Yes.
That was very eye-opening to me, because growing up you think like, oh, this story and you can do that with that, and then they're like, what? But so definitely helping people. And then also knowing that it's okay to, like, your time is valuable. So I had a couple clients that I actually had to turn down because it wasn't going to benefit my time well, which is very hard for me. I would say I'm a people pleaser. I don't like to say no. Like, I want it to work out with everyone. I want to be able to help everyone. So it was like learning curve, and that is something that I spread myself out a little bit too thin when I first got here to Australia, where I was doing so much work. Like, I had even more clients than I do now, and I wasn't getting paid as much as I was, and I felt like it was starting to get overwhelming. So being
Yes.
able to realize that and kind of like scale back on the more valuable and what, like, basically better manage my time,
Yeah.
was also a very big lesson.
That's a
I
huge
love it.
lesson to learn so early on. That's awesome that you learned that so early on, because yes, you do want to focus on, and this is, I mean, for you to be in this spot now is awesome. It's like focusing on those high ticket, high value clients, and not always the super crazy high tickets, but like going, what's worth my time? Is it worth my time spending all my hours while I'm living in Australia on like $300 clients, or clients that are going to be paying me a lot more so I can leverage my time really well and do great work for them, right? Rather than spreading yourself out really thin. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I got a question about that, because I think this is where a lot of people get hung up earlier on in their businesses. They go, I don't know how I'm ever going to get more than a $300 client. Like, when all you have is $300 clients, which was you at one point,
Yeah.
it's hard to see, which was me at one point, it was Christy. It's hard to see like the light at the end of the tunnel into like getting a $500 per month client, a $1,000 per month client, $1,500 per month client, right? So what have you learned about the difference in serving a $300 client versus an $800 or a $1,000 client per month, or more than that? Like, what are the differences? How is there any difference in what you need to do for them? Is it just difference in industry? Is it difference in
Just
how
your
you
confidence?
sell them? Is it difference in your confidence? Like, talk to me about that, because that's a really big roadblock for a lot of people.
Yeah, I would say, just from my own experience and the different levels of clients that I have, it does depend on the business that you are pitching. So some of my lower clients are like just it's their one business. It's not a big company. They're
Yeah.
on their side, like, they just need some help with understanding some of the social media stuff. Where some of my higher paying ticket clients, they're more of a structured actual company, and there's layers behind it. So they, for one, when you think of it, they have more money behind it. So their value to what they can produce out on social media, it's going to have a bigger impact. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
therefore, what you're providing them is more valuable. So it's more to charge.
Yes.
Yep.
It's someone that a little bit smaller, it might not make the biggest difference in the world, but they still really appreciate it and want to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Totally.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So what I hear you saying is like, yeah, bigger companies often have bigger budgets, which is pretty obvious.
Mhm.
But also, bigger companies often have more at stake, because they are spending more money on stuff. So if the stuff doesn't go well, there's more to lose. So
Mhm.
they really want to make sure that they're hiring the right person to run their social media. So they're willing to pay a good dollar for it, because the gain that they can get from that is exponential, and what they might lose might also hurt. So
Yeah.
it's where they put their money, right? Which is really cool. Where some of those really small clients losing $300 a month, it might not be that big of a deal to them, because social media is not even that important to them, to begin with. So
Yeah.
I love that. So as you continue to look for new clients, as you grow this business at a healthy pace, what are some industries that you're excited to get some clients in, and
Mhm.
why do you pick those industries?
Well, as we know, I love travel, outdoors, activities, stuff like that. So I have also been on the side kind of trying to reach out to other brands that I like admire in that industry. So even just along my travels, like just smaller ones, I've actually got a couple like UGC projects on the side going, which is a little step in the
Awesome.
door. The one thing that I have found I really, really enjoy is actually taking the content. So the biggest struggle I would think find with social media management is I'm relying on what they're providing me, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
some of the times it's sparse and the wrong dimensions for what you need for a reel versus a post, and YouTube versus this. So that just adds another layer to it. So when I can actually shoot my own content for a brand, like, that is where I think my goal would definitely be to be solely doing that with like outdoor travel kind of brands, whether it's clothing, equipment, kind of anything like that.
Awesome.
That would kind of be the ideal situation, but no rush to get there. It's kind of just the experience along the way, kind of dipping my toes in it now. But
Oh,
Yeah.
you're so doing it the right way.
I
You've
love
built
it.
something that you can rely on, do what you need to do, get out in the spaces where you would actually become known for those things and be able to get all this experience in the outdoors so you can actually provide not only the social management experience and not only the creative experience, but then also the expertise of what you're actually doing, which is
100%.
super, super cool. So what advice would you have for somebody who is maybe in your shoes 6 months ago? They're maybe like, trying to decide if they're going to go take on more student debt in a university, but they really want to start a creative business, but they're kind of like, I don't know if I can do it, or I don't know if I can do it fast. What would be your advice for somebody who's like, I need to get clients fast to build up a business so that I can travel the world or pay my rent or whatever it is? What's your advice for just getting the foot in the door with clients?
Yeah. I would say the biggest advice is, for one, don't listen to other people that say you're crazy, because lots of people are going to do that. And the next would be to not be discouraged if it doesn't happen. Like when I finished university, there was like a year between when I was going to go off to another university or now what I'm doing now. And in that time, I was just serving, and all my friends were either back at school or they were more into a corporate job, and I was kind of like second guessing myself. So I think the biggest thing would to be like, trust yourself and like not rush the process, because half the people will try it for like a month and then nothing happens, and then they get discouraged and then and
Yes.
you kind of gotta, it's good to have like a little job on the side, because you obviously need to be making a little bit of income, and that's exactly what helped me get to where I was. So it wasn't the picture pretty job, it was serving, like it wasn't anything crazy, but it was what allowed me to kind of keep at this and do it on the side, like every night, like just work on it a little bit and basically not give up. Like, you're gonna have the second guessing on yourself and from other people, and I think the biggest thing is just to like, if that's really what you want to do, and like it's so cliche, but like you can do it. Like, it's just gonna take the time and to have trust in yourself.
I love it.
100%.
So Jordan, I know you've got a lot of referral clients. Like, you get referrals or anything like that. How do you kind of nurture getting referrals? Like, a lot of people are like, okay, I need to either fully depend on social media or like SEO, and they're like, forget about referrals. How important are referrals to you, and what do you kind of do to help the referral process along for yourself?
Well, that's an interesting question, because I have been quite lucky with my referrals. I will be honest, all of my clients have been referrals, which has been
awesome.
Amazing. I would think with the referral, like there's that like connection already, so it immediately makes it, I wouldn't say less work, but less stressful. Like, you can kind of chillax, you can be more like humanized, and it's very like special to know that someone thought of you in this position. And I think a lot of it was getting my name out there just on my own account, kind of just saying like, hey, this is what I'm doing now. And it, like, for me, one of it was a lacrosse coach back from university, and he follows me, and he was like, hey, my buddy's doing this. And then next thing you know, it's just kind of getting out there what you're doing, and other people are going to see it, and they'll pick up on it and then pass a name along, and it's a beautiful thing, and I take it like it's so appreciated.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
so good. I love that you're like, I just push imposter syndrome to the side, and I'm gonna like declare what I'm doing, even if I'm not
100%.
already doing it yet, but I'm gonna tell everybody this is what I'm projected towards, this is what I'm gonna be doing. And you just did it confidently, and so then people then feel confident in you, and they want to refer you to other people. And Jordan, you're also just like such a nice, warm, bubbly, outgoing person. Like, that 100% helps.
Yeah.
So don't forget that friendliness is a really good side of referrals.
100%. Yeah. And that's awesome. Like, a referral-based business is so strong.
Healthy.
Yeah, because you're operating off of good relationship capital. So, Jordan,
I
this
also
is a totally
that as well for Peter, because you guys have done so much amazing spreading my name. It's been awesome.
Hey, well, we're happy to do it. We love. I mean, this is how referrals work. You you're a great person who does a good job at what you do. And so we'd love to refer you, right? And that's how all of your other referrals have worked. People have been like, oh, Jordan's awesome, and she does good work. But, guys, this is the point I want to make. Like, Jordan, if you never would have posted those reels of like, what's up, I'm Jordan, and I'm a social media manager, like, a lot of people wouldn't know that you do that, and therefore you wouldn't be able to get referrals, right? So it sounds silly and it feels silly when you're starting something and you're putting yourself out there being like, I'm a social media manager, but you're only making like $100 a month doing it or something, right? It feels like, oh, this is kind of ridiculous. I'm playing a part. But the reality is you're just declaring, as Christy said, your ambitions. And because of that, all of this referral work has come to you, which has been incredible. And now you're living your dream down in Australia, getting to travel full time because you have an income that you have fully created yourself that's self-generating. So before we talk about something else, we've got one more question after this, but what's your average day look like? Like, what does Jordan's day look like? So talk to me about, like,
social media manager,
as a social media manager, living in Australia, traveling the world. Like, when do you work? How often do you work? Do you work at all every day? Do you work only every other day? Like, talk to me about how does this work? Because I'm sure people are wondering that.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing, so all my clients are back home in Canada, so the time difference has been fun to get used to. So I do usually do a lot of my work early in the morning and kind of late at night, which is honestly awesome because then the day is mine. And living in a car, you are up and down with the sun. So when the sun's up, you're up, which is around like 5:40, 6 o'clock here. So usually I'll kind of try to bang out some work there and just like laying in bed, watch the sunrise, and then I kind of, surf, go on a hike. I check out a lot of coffee shops, which probably my bank account, I need to maybe get another client for that, but
I hear Australian coffee
Australia
is expensive.
cafes are so expensive.
Oh yeah, learning quickly. And then maybe another swim, snorkel, dive. I don't know, kind of just chill out the rest of the day, and then at night usually if I do go to a coffee shop, I'll probably try to bang out another hour or so of work. If while they're asleep, I can kind of maybe like batch create a little bit of content for when the timing's different. If I'm sleeping, I can schedule it out to post. And then once everyone's kind of getting up around like 9 p.m. here, I'll kind of do a little bit more work if I'm not completely wiped out. But it's a pretty nice day to day, I'm not going to lie.
Pretty
It's
dreamy.
so awesome.
To be honest, it's nice sometimes to work with clients when their clients are asleep. You just get all this work done. No one's like texting you. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So awesome. So, okay, we've talked about a ton of things. You building your business, what you're doing monthly now, some tips on getting clients. Talk to us about the mastermind, because again, we met you didn't have a business. You now 4 months later have an awesome business that's got you on track. If you did $4,500 a month, that is just shy of 60 grand a year, which is awesome. So talk to me about, like, was the mastermind instrumental in helping you do so? If so, what did you learn in the mastermind? If you could do it again, would you do it again? Like, would you recommend it? Like, talk to me about if that played any part in you building this awesome business you've built.
I literally would not be where I am today without you guys. That 6 weeks was part of the life-changing experience of where I am today. I learned so much, right down from what I want to do basically to how to execute it. And I have recommended it to everyone I come across. When they were like, how are you doing that? I'm like, oh, I did Creativ Rise. You should go and do it. I would like, through Creativ Rise, you get your accountability pods. We still talk to this day, which the community in this program is unbelievable. Like, I heard people say it and I was like, okay, yeah, like it's a pro, like, yeah, no, it is like amazing. We are still texting. We're still helping each other out. Like, that is like on its own could be like just as beneficial than what you guys provide, which is 10 times more. Like, it's insane.
That's so sweet.
I love that.
Yeah. I was gonna say what I learned, I think the most, I mean, I learned so much, but the one thing I really took away, and I kind of mentioned before about seeing the gap and being able to close it. And like I said, it was very eye-opening to what a lot of my clients I have now today don't understand or don't know how to do or don't have the time to do it. And that is very valuable that you can fill that. And that's kind of how you base what you're selling. Almost, it's not like I'm selling a product or like you're providing them. It's a value to them, which I really took that away. And that's kind of what's helped a lot of my pitches and basing like my formats around all these businesses.
Yeah,
Awesome.
100%.
Well, what you're giving is so valuable, and I love that your accountability pod still chats to this day.
So
That
cool.
is
We said it was going to
best.
happen, and people are like, "I don't believe you." And
They
then
never
it's
believe
happening.
us,
Yeah,
and everyone's
it's
all
so
sudden a
cool.
weird little family afterwards. It's amazing. I love that, Jordan. Okay, our last and final signature question that we ask everybody: why does someone deserve to break the creative struggle? Why should someone believe in themselves enough to try and make it happen for them? In your opinion, why is it so worth it?
Well, I kind of said it before, and I am a sole believer that you shouldn't work to then live. You should be living every day, every second. And if that is what you want to do and you have fun doing the creative thing, it is worth every single penny you put down to start, because you are going to actually be living life. You're not going to be, oh, it's Wednesday, 12 o'clock. Like, you're going to enjoy everything. And I think that is way more valuable than a 9 to 5 that you hate.
I love
100%.
that.
100%.
I love it.
I mean, that's Creativ Rise's mission, right? Is to empower and create a world where more creatives get to actually succeed while doing what they love. Like, that's the tagline, right? Like, actually succeed at what you love to do while doing what you love. Which, Jordan, you were doing what you love while living in a place you love,
are.
in a van you love, getting to surf when you want, hang out. Like that, I can't think of a better example of that.
Yeah.
Really, right there.
Of the vision of being able to just go out and do it in 4 months, a completely different life. So if anyone's listening, take this inspiration and run with it. Like, literally
100%.
what Jordan's been saying has been so inspiring, even to us. And I know it is to everyone that is listening.
Yeah.
Jordan, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for doing this podcast and for sharing all of your awesome wisdom and insight and your daily routine. I feel like we now need like a daily routine or like a day in the life of Jordan.
This is my day in the life as a social media manager.
I literally feel like we need maybe one of those and maybe a tour of your van.
I love it.
So thank you so much, Jordan, for being with us. And yeah, thanks for being on this.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate everything you guys have done for me and still do for me. It has been amazing.
Love it.
We love you. All right, we'll talk to you soon.
See you, Jordan.
Bye.
Oh, we always love catching up with Jordan. She is so great. If you want to find out what she is doing, you want to follow her online, maybe don't look at her website, but go to her Instagram at Jords Media, JORDS.media. Although maybe her website's updated by the time you're listening to this.
Maybe it
so
is.
we
Who
will
knows?
see. But go follow her on Instagram, check her out, send her a message, say a big thanks to her.
Yeah, super fun to watch her journey as she travels all over the world while running a creative business at the same time, which is so cool. And so cool that she's done it in 4 months. Like, talk about a life change. She mentioned
crazy.
life change multiple times on that podcast episode. And that's what we honestly talk about and believe here at Creativ Rise. Like that is life change when you go from the desire to have something that can give you an ambition in life. So like her ambition was traveling. She wanted to do something that was going to pay her to travel rather than working a 9 to 5 where she'd get 2 weeks off a year. She had an ambition and then she needed to find an income stream, a business that could help fuel that. That's what we love doing at Creativ Rise. Not everybody has that where they want to travel the world, but a lot of people do. And we are such fans of creating a world where more creatives, just like Jordan, are able to actually build businesses that allow them to succeed while doing what they love, which in her case is traveling. So guys, if you are like listening to that and you're going, that sounds like me, I would love to do that. Whether it's going from like 0 or 15K a year to your first 50, whether it's going from 50 to 100, whether it's going from like 85, 90 to your first 150, the Creativ Rise Mastermind that Jordan went through is the one-stop shop. We truly believe it's the best place on the internet for creatives to learn how to actually grow a business that reflects the reality of what they want their life to look like, the money they want to make, how they want to make their money, how much they want to work, how surrounded they want to be. As Jordan mentioned, like the community aspect of the Creativ Rise Mastermind is incredible. We intentionally like hand pick people. It's application only because the community is such an important piece to us, because the community is really what fires you up. It keeps you supported on the days you're feeling down or the days you get rejected when you pitch or whatever. And then it supports you on the days that you win, right? Which is really cool. There's a ton of accountability mixed into that. So if you have any interest in growing your business in the back end of 2023 and going into 2024, the Creativ Rise Mastermind is, again, the one-stop shop where you are going to want to stop and check out and make sure that you take a shot at jumping on in. So we always get more applications and spots available. We only take about 35 to 36, 37 businesses businesses per round. It's a 6-week program because we really need to limit the numbers so that Christy and I can really pour our attention into everybody in there to maximize the results that people get. That's why this Creativ Rise Mastermind is so different than buying an online course that you'll probably never open and it sits in your email. This is not one of those experiences.
No.
So different. So
we will know if you are not there.
Exactly. So if you want to get on the wait list, that's the best chance you're going to get at getting an early application in and getting accepted. So all you got to do is go to creativrise.com. You'll be able to see all the information about the mastermind, read a ton of the testimonials about people that have gone through it, and they are super excited to share their experience in it, what it taught them, how it's helped them grow their business. People like Jordan who have gotten a 10x return. Like the mastermind's $2,400, and she's now going from making $300 a month to making $4,500 a month. Like that's a 10x increase on her income. That's a massive return month over month on what she paid to basically buy the knowledge, buy the accountability, buy the community in order to create that business model that she's currently operating off and now living off in Australia, which is so cool.
So cool. So yeah, jump on that wait list, you guys. You get early access, you get bonuses, you get early bird pricing. So why not join? It's a no commitment wait list. So just hop on and maybe message Jordan. You can ask her more questions. So get it straight from the horse's mouth of how awesome that community really is. So if you want to be surrounded by people that are energetic and excited about building and take fast action like Jordan, you're going to love the people in the mastermind.
Yeah, and we got to tell you when it starts, because I
true.
totally forgot to talk about that. I don't know if you were going to forget to talk about that, but that's an exciting piece. So we are kicking off early in September. So the mastermind starts September 18th. Is that when it is? Oh my gosh, we got to double check this. It's been like we've been moving into a new house. We've been moving into a new house all week. We're like our brains are all going all over the place. But I know that the launch
on the 10th of September.
I got it wrong. So September 10th, we were kicking it off. August 23rd is when it goes live to the wait list. And then a week later, it's going to launch to the public. And again, most of the times when we get to the public launch, the spots are already filled because there's so many people on the wait list. The last time we did it, we only had 35 spots. And there was like 80-something people in the wait list.
Like
80 people
90
applied.
Applications.
Yeah, there was like 180 people on the wait list or something. Yeah. So I really want to make sure, guys, if you have any interest in the next round of the Creativ Rise Mastermind, starting September 10th, you make sure you get on the wait list. So at the end of August, you have a shot at applying to get on into that. So, yeah.
Yep. All right, you guys, we'll see you over on the wait list. Thanks for following along, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.